Domenico Rosa. Domenico is head of unit for strategic partnership with Africa and with the ACP at the G International Partnership, and is obviously part of the European Commission, and is a long time expert on these kind of topics, and a great negotiator at international level as well. So, Domenico, we are talking Africa. It is just 1/3 of your job description, but I think that it is an extremely significant third. So this is to you, to your recent experience, and to your evaluation. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Roberto, and thank you for your kind introductory words. Well, I would first of all to thank the DSO and EPRI and Euroelectric for this invitation. As you said, well, Africa is not 1/3, is my full job, if I may say. Where in Africa, and talking about strategic partnership, of course, the strategic partnership that is on energy is one of the most relevant, and is going to become one of the most relevant for the future. You know that with the adoption of the EU Green Deal back at the beginning of this Commission mandate, we are fully engaged and committed in deliver in the external dimension of the Green Deal, because the Green Deal cannot succeed internally if it succeeds also outside. Otherwise, we remain a kind of, I would say, a beautiful European exercise, even if it's our industrial policy for the future. And I think that it's very important that this external dimension of the Green Deal is applied in Africa, where the Africa case requires, I think, a different element compared to the European one. And of course, they need to build on a more reliable power system with greater focus on transmission and distribution assets that are, I would say, the core business of your gathering. And in this sense, Africa needs to significant scale up investment in the energy sector, both in production, but also in generation, but also in grids that are at the moment for both aspects are ranking among the lowest in the world. When it comes specifically to the distribution system operators, the electricity distribution network, in my view, will get increasingly attention and will come under the spotlight as the green transition will gather pace. Distribution networks, in particular in Africa, are entering in a new era of change, and adaptation will require energy transition of all the electricity system. Distribution networks have done an excellent job in Europe. I think that everybody can testify of this, and but the nature is not changing also in Europe, but I think that this is going to change also in Africa. And when I talk about Africa, I talk all Africa, so the sub-Saharan Africa, but also the MENA region. I think that is also that as energy transition gather pace, electricity system will become more and more about bottom up than rather than the previous model where there was largely a top-down approach. And the optimization will take place more and more at the level of the end user, meaning that in this case, the DSO will have a bigger role to play. I think that to successfully navigate the shift, the distribution system will need to embrace changes in their role and structure while exploring the world of digitalization and innovation to manage their network. From our perspective, the question is, what can we do to support DSO business model in a region of sub-Saharan Africa, which such a tremendous deficit in the access to energy. Particular attention in our future strategy will, I would say, given to the modernization and reinforcement of almost all distribution networks, including digitalization, control, and operation facility, and the demand of the site management tools. And second, the mobilization of a huge investment to achieve the above-mentioned intense modernization of the DSO infrastructure. As I mentioned, we are now a little bit at a turning point in our relation with Africa. You know that there is the upcoming summit that now is confirmed that is going to take place in Brussels, 16 and 18 of February in presence, where we hope that we will be able to renew the partnership that we have with Africa and upscale to a higher level of interaction and reciprocity. The idea is to move from the old vision of Africa as a continent of problem into a new era of Africa as a continent of opportunity. And I think that Africa is full of opportunity because there is a huge potential for development, the development that is needed for the Africa industrialization, if I may say, because and also for the development of Africa continental value chain in order to create the internal African market. It is one also of the other big projects of the continent for the next decades. As the part of this investment package that we are going to present to our partners during the summit, there is the Africa-Europe Green Energy Initiative that will be launched as a support to the investment in the energy sector. In financial term, we can estimate that you could contribute for 1.7 billion for the period 2021-2024, and will most probably reach 2.4 billion for the whole financial framework that is covering 2021-2027. So by including, of course, in this amount, the capitals that we could crowd in by the use of the guarantees and therefore by de-risking specific investment in areas, geographic and sectoral, that where the market would make the investment not so palatable. In terms of areas of intervention, I think that we aim at focusing on 4 main building blocks. The first one is as I said, increasing the energy production and the access to energy. I think that this is the basics, because without energy production and access to energy, there are little that can be done. Then to move into a sustainable energy uses and therefore increase the efficiency in the use of the energy. Third one is the sector reform that should try to head towards a conducive regulatory framework for the private investment. But I think that rules that need to be clear for the investor in the energy sector. And last but not least, and this I think is a long-term endeavor and objective, is the market integration that will start most probably at the sub-regional level and then could move at the higher level, but in a longer term. As a part of this area of intervention and in the relation with your core business, we would like to focus in particular in the support of the transformation of the electricity utilities, in tackling energy-specific barriers to undistorted trade and investment in the energy sector, improve connectivity to enable the increase of core cross-border energy trade, and last but not least, the support of the interconnection between the two continents for an increased trade of decarbonized energy, considering that the Africa has an enormous potential in terms of, I would say, renewable energy production, and is a potential that is largely untapped for the time being. Let me conclude by saying that we see clearly the potential of the energy sector in Africa, and we would like to work back to back with the private sector. The energy sector is definitely something that is in the hand of the private investors, is not, I would say, was not traditionally the core of our development cooperation, but is becoming more and more relevant, because without electricity there is no development, if I may say, and it's difficult also to think that we can achieve, as I mentioned at the beginning, our internal goal in terms of Green Deal and its objective. And I think that now we are in the run-up of the summit. We hope that from the African side there will be an appropriate answer to this, let's say, offer in moving forward with sustainable energy. And then once we have this, I would say, kind of alliance or partnership on energy is endorsed by the head of states, then I think that we can move into its implementation. And I think that in this sense, the relation with the business forum that we are organizing in parallel to the summit is of paramount importance, because I think that we cannot move into this area without having the constant and permanent feedback of the private sector, as well as without listening about what are the main challenges and where are the problems that the private sector is facing when they would like to develop energy transmission grids. I will stop here because I understand that your morning was rather busy, and we are close to the lunch time. So thank you very much for the invitation, and I wish you all the success for your future activity. So thank you.
Thank you, Domenico. Thank you, Domenico, for your words.